Esther Martinez was born and raised in Puerto Rico, where she enlisted in the Army Reserves in 1982 as a petroleum supply specialist. She was later assigned to the 941st Quartermaster Company for 4 years. In 1986, she joined active military duty, with her first assignment being the 3rd Armored Division Alpha Company in Germany.
I thought about that question because my brother was drafted into the during the Vietnam War, and of course we were really proud of him and the service that he provided. And when he came home, it was a big thing for all of us. And even though I kind of considered joining because of that, the primary reason I joined was, and just being transparent, I was running away from the mess that I had made out of my life as a young girl. I was 17, but I have my daughter already, and life was just crushing in. It was imploding on me, and from every side. So joining the military, as difficult as it appeared to be, it was a welcome option for me. So I left. I left my daughter with my mom, and I joined, in hopes that not only find better goals for myself, but also as to just to get away, to have time to think about my future. What am I going to do with my life? Because where I was, it was literally almost life and death. So I'm like, I had to do something. And I left, and I consider it a blessing, Wow, everything, primarily because I leave my little girl behind with my mom, and that alone, to be able to live it with her and not with anyone else, was a backflips and decisions and craziness, in order to live it with her in a temporary basis. So just doing that was breaking my heart, but I try really, really hard to think about the reasons why I was going. This is for a good thing, sometimes honest the truth, you have to be the sacrifice. We think about sacrificing things, and sometimes you have to put yourself in the altar of your life, and then let that be the thing that spring you forward to better things. And that's how I felt. I felt that I was laying myself in this sacrificial place for the betterment of my life and my little girl's life. However that turned out, because I knew I needed to get away. So between the time of getting on that plane and returning, whenever that was going to be, I knew I will have options. It's really important. So yeah. My transition, because I pretty much I came back twice. I went to basic training, of course, that's a couple of months. And then after that, they send you to, in the Army, they send you to something called AIT. An individual advanced training. So that's where you learn what the job is going to be, what you are going to be doing, other than being a military person, a soldier. You're going to learn to do a job. So that could be 2 months, 6 months, 10 months, depends. In my case, it was supposed to be 2.5 to 3 months. And when I was there, I broke my arm, so my wrist, so they had to recycle me. So I was there an extra 2 months, and it wasn't as horrible as I thought it was going to be. It was okay. I needed time to think anyway, so it wasn't too bad. So I came back to my reserve unit in Puerto Rico, and I was in the reserve unit for 4.5 years before I learned that if I go over the 5-year mark and I want to go back into active duty, I need to go back to basic training. And I did not want to do that. So I went and joined active duty military, and then I stayed active duty military for 14 years. So yeah, it was a long time. But that AIT, and then coming back for those 4 years, it was a lot of thinking and a lot of course, things, because I kind of came back to the same things I was running away, if you know what I mean. But I was a whole lot stronger then. I was a whole lot stronger. You know, I consider myself lucky in that I was married at the time and he was still active duty. So even though I came out of the active duty um, position, I was still in the military with him. I was still traveling with him. He got reassigned a couple of times and I have to go with him. And so my transition out of the military was a whole lot better than a lot of other veterans that do not have time to adjust. And it's like, here it is, you know, you have to wing it. For me, it was a whole lot more smoother. I had time to go to school when I was still within a military base, you know. So it was a slower, nicer process. By the time I was completely away from the military, I was okay. I was totally fine. You know, that was another reason I was telling Faith a couple of years ago that uh, I work at the VA now, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get my education, and that my goal was always to work at the VA, because I kind of knew from being an active duty and coming out and being a civilian and observing active duty. When I came all the way out, I decided this is what I want to do, and be a social worker at the VA, and that's what I'm now. That's a really good question. I thought about that, and because it is different from everyone, one thing though is the same, and it's that we have to, I think, you know, we have to really listen to their story. Listen to their story first. We sometimes we're quick to want to fix something or help with this or help with that, but sometimes they don't want you to fix what you think is important at that time. You know, it's better if we just listen to their story, be available, and then once you know the story, if they're willing to share it with you, you know, you will know what is important to them at that time in order for you to be able to help. You know, I come across because of the nature of my job, that it's a lot of women that are living with their parents or siblings or whatever, but to them that's not the priority. To move away is not the priority. The priority is to get themselves in order first, or to get income in order to take care of their children. Or again, you know, mental health is very, very important. So we have to know, you know, what is important to them. And the only way we can know that is listening without being ready to know what we're going to say next. Just listen, you know, and you will be able to help better, you know. You know. Mm-hmm. Oh wow. You know, I came out of the military such a long time ago, and things have changed a lot. Totally, they have changed, not only for women across the board. It's not even the military that I remember. Some things were awesome, the changes. Some I do not think they were awesome, you know. But as far as specifically for women within the military, even today, my opinion, is still a male-dominated organization. Even though, and I think that even if every job was open to women, it will still continue to be male determined, because it's just the military complex. It's just the way it is. Now, women have progressed a tremendous amount, yes, and it's true. But I think more help is needed when they come out. Here in Arkansas, the VA, you know, we do have a women's clinic. We do have take care of women's issues. A lot of those issues are contracted out because the hospitals still do not have certain things that, you know, certain services for women. but that is a great, great advantage. We have come a long way, but even the women's clinic, at least as far as this hospital, is not older than maybe 25 years, 23, 25 years. So you see how it's young. It's really young. When women have been serving since World War One. I mean, let me take it back. World War Two. I don't know if we served in World War One, but I know World War Two for sure. And then every single war after that. So it's a lot to change. We have gotten a whole lot better, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Oh, that was such an awesome, it is such an awesome program. I love that Faith is doing that. I remember when she called me that first time, and we had the opportunity to just go in there and look pretty and be pampered. We wore some awesome clothes. I left the activity, the program with buying one of the outfits. I didn't buy my own outfit, but I bought one of the outfits that somebody else was wearing, because I'm like, I have to have that. I couldn't live without it. It was just beautiful and affordable, but just totally fashionable. And I think it's a great thing that she's doing. It's not only make us feel good and everything, and we are honored in front of our peers and the community and all that, but it also give us a sense of humility, that it's so many other, I'm older, I'm 57. There's so many young girls, women that are coming behind us that I'm sure will be ecstatic to be part of that program and that fashion show. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. It's great. It's great. Faith, good job. It is a life-changing experience, regardless of the reason why they join or even at what age they join. They have to be prepared to adjust, maybe do a lot of reading about it, maybe talk to people who've been in the military, both sides, those who have good experiences and those who have bad experiences. Because once you are into the military, you pretty much become property of the Department of Defense, okay? You can't wake up tomorrow and say, okay, I'm going home. No. So it's important that you know what you're getting into before you go in. For my part, I am appreciative of my time. Even though I have my scars, we all do, regardless. You can have the best experience, and if you're a female, you have your scars. However, you turn those scars, on badge of honors, on badges of honor, and my experience with the military was empowering. It was maturing, because like I said, I finished growing up in the military. So it taught me discipline, it taught me structure, it taught me how to not feel sorry for myself. It doesn't matter what you go through. If you have to cry a little bit, you take your minute and you do your little crying, but the moment you wipe your tears, it's game on and you move forward. And there's very few places that you can learn that strength, at least for me, but the military, just hard life, but it makes you better. I heard when I was in the military, a drill sergeant said one time, and I don't know, maybe the intention was to scare you, but I took it in like, yeah. He said that the military is like a fire, and it's gonna melt you on whatever mold you choose for yourself. See, it'll melt you, but you can choose a mold of strength and empowerment and maturity and structure and discipline, or you can choose the mold of self-defeat, low self-esteem. I can't do this, I want out, blah, my life is ending. It's up to you, but the fire will be there and the pressure will be there. And I think I guess you can translate that out in the world as well. The pressures are there. You make the choice how you're going to utilize this pressure and this fire. If you have to cry a little bit, do it. And then determine, because something else that I was thinking earlier before I called in and we did this. It's like, you know what? Before the military, I remember the traumatizing feeling of, I felt like, again, like my life was caving in. So I left. But yeah, the one thing I learned is that I learned to take a hold of my own life. Like I stopped letting other people make the decisions in my life. I stopped. I was like, wow, that is true. I did stop. So that is the biggest thing for me that I took from the military, is that I learned how to decide to make my own decisions, whether good or bad. They are my own. I take responsibility for those decisions. If it don't work this way, okay, I dust myself and go this way. But it's our life. Is, you know, I make the decisions for myself, opposed to having my parents making the decision, my sister making this. That's how it was before I left. Everybody was making this. But again, I'm 19. What do I know? You know? So, but yeah, just take the reins of your life and move forward. So I appreciate that very much about the military.
Sergeant Martinez received numerous awards and commendations while on active duty. Among them are the Army Commendation Medal, twice receiving the Army Achievement Medal, the Joint Meritorious Unit Award for service with Special Operations Command in the Persian Gulf War, the National Defense Medal, and the Kuwait Liberation Medal, awarded to those who served during the Kuwait Liberation Campaign.